What's going on, my fan sizzles? Welcome to Behind the Booth with me, DJ iSizzle. Thank you so much for tuning in, for checking it out, for listening. I appreciate you greatly. Today, we have a couple of things we're going to talk about. The first thing I want to get into is reading the floor at a wedding as a DJ. So, the thing about reading the floor, you got to look around and you got to see, is anybody dancing? Another thing you got to know is, are these people wanting to dance? Did I talk to the bride and groom beforehand? Did I give them the outline? Did I ask them for a playlist of their favorite songs? Did I do any of this? And these are some of the most important things you have to do as a wedding DJ. You have to talk to your bride and groom. You have to talk to your couple. You have to talk to your couple about their must plays, do not plays, a playlist they've given you of their favorites, a list of favorite artists, a list of favorite genres. Hey, what kind of crowd are we dealing with here? Do they like explicit lyrics? Do they like to say a lot of bad words? Are they very like, hey, keep those bad words to yourself? We want to keep it this way. Are they a crowd that says, hey, first 2 hours of reception, you just make sure they're all clean radio edits. After that, we can go ahead and move into that other playlist. And something that I've learned too is sometimes couples, they want the older crowd or a certain crowd that they have, they want them to leave so they can party. They want like an hour or two to themselves with all their friends, and they just want to turn up. They want to have a few drinks. It's very important that you ask these things with your couple. If you don't ask these things, then you'll never know. Another thing I always ask, I say, is this going to be an elegant wedding? Are you going to have a mix of just more like, hey, we're just a chill crowd. We haven't seen our family in years. We want to just be more conversational, but we want really good music playing in the background and we want you to keep it going. You need to know what kind of crowd you're dealing with. And they might even be like, hey, if we decide to dance, we'll come up and let you know. We'll have you play a couple songs, our requests we want to hear. It's really important that you know these things before going to the wedding, because if you don't know these things, you're not going to know how to handle a crowd, because it could be a crowd that's like chill, relax. We might get up and dance after a few drinks. We might not. We have some family members that'll want to dance for the entire night, just play to them. So knowing how to read the room is a lot of like pre-prep and to understand what kind of crowd you're dealing with. If you get a crowd that's really young, if you get a crowd that's really old, you need to know what kind of music they want. If you don't understand what kind of music they want, you could be playing classic rock to a crowd that hates classic rock. And they're like, why are you playing this? Well, that classic rock's fine, I guess. But they would prefer you to play some 2000s hip hop. If you got to play it all night, please play it for us. We don't want it clean. We want it explicit. These are things you have to know. If you don't know these things, you could be going in there playing explicit music and you got the bride's mom over there and she is a born again Christian, and any bad words to her are just like, wow, what is this DJ doing to us right now? Why is he playing all this music? You really need to know these things before you go in. And that's a really basic way to read a room. Another way is to understand like the first set that you play, whether it be a 30-minute or a 45-minute or an hour set. Make sure those first 20, 25 minutes, make sure they appeal to all generations, meaning play those songs that everybody knows and loves. Play those up front, get those out the way. You want to get everybody dancing, you want to get everybody grooving. And then after about 20, 25 minutes, a lot of people are like, man, I'm tired, or let me go outside for a little bit. I want to get another drink. And then you can start playing different music, different genres. But when you're in a zone where everybody's dancing, those songs have to be so perfectly picked. And there's only a few of those songs that everybody knows and loves. And that's where an experience as a DJ comes along. Because if you don't understand those songs, you're going to clear a floor so fast. And when you create that excitement and that emotion with everybody dancing, you're going to have so many people come up to you and request songs that are just not going to work. Like, believe me, you create that emotion right up front, you get everybody dancing. People have had a few drinks in them. By the way, I don't drink when I DJ. I don't know how to DJ with a drink in my system, so I kindly turn down any drinks that people offer me at a wedding. I'll just be like, oh, unfortunately, I've never taught myself how to DJ. The reason I do that too is because this is this is me DJing in front of people that I've never met before. This is the couple that's hired me. They trust me with their friends and family. If I have a few drinks, ugh, right? I mean, to me, having a few drinks means just like have some fun, relax. But I'm not going to try to mix. I'm not going to try to pick songs when I've had a few drinks in my system. So that is a very big code that I have within DJing weddings. It's very important to me that I do not drink because why would you? Like, if you've never, no, no, no. So, out of respect for couples, out of respect for the wedding industry, I do not take shots. I don't drink. I don't do any of that while I'm DJing. It's not a good look. You get sloppy. I don't want to get sloppy. I want to be super sharp and make sure that we accomplish one of the best nights of the couple's lives. So, that being said, that's another way for me to read the room. But yes, you will get people to come up. And something else that I've learned about doing transitions, and you don't want to go too fast when a room is going and you have multiple generations on a dance floor, because 2 minutes, 3 minutes, if the song is good and people just want to vibe to it, that's cool. Sometimes it takes a second for people to loosen up a little bit. Sometimes jumping on that dance floor is like jumping in the pool. It's like, man, you just need a few moments to like look around and say, okay, I'm ready, I'm good. So also just allow your room to be comfortable with you, because I took dance classes last year and they would have us come out there and you would jump out as one person. They say, okay, do a freestyle. I'm like, freestyle? I'm looking around. I don't know anybody in this room. Bright lights. There's no ambiance or like mood lighting that makes you feel a little better. Um, it's just straight up, come on, man, show us what you got. Do a little freestyle dance. And it's like, whoa. So I understand as a DJ, like being a guest and getting out on a dance floor, it can be really intimidating. So as a DJ, you have to read that room and you have to play songs that really invite the guests out to the dance floor, make them feel comfortable, man. I see clips online where DJs from, I don't know where they're from, but they're like trolling the audience and then they're like laughing at them and stuff. I'm like, man, why would you do that? Like, that's like the meanest thing you can do. Like, we're here to celebrate love and have a good time. Like, why would you troll guests? Like, to me, that makes no sense. But anyways, that's just my own personal belief. I don't think you should make fun of guests. I don't think you should troll guests. I don't think you should post any videos that make a couple's guests look bad. They make anybody look bad. Like, that's just like the wrong move, the wrong thing to do. So for me, I take the very classy approach. I just say, hey, it's probably a little intimidating to get on a dance floor, but once you get out there, it's the best night of your life. So that's another thing that I would say with reading the room is just make people feel comfortable, like, hey, we're in a place to have fun. Harder we dance, the more we celebrate the couple. Better time we have, the better time they'll have. So those are just kind of some of my things with reading the room. Another thing with reading the room is like, it's okay to get on the microphone and encourage people to dance, because if you're just playing music and maybe you're mixing or maybe you're not mixing, it's easy to put your head down and not get people on the dance floor. Now, again, this is all based on the couple and what they want, what their guests are like. Some guests, they just want to be chilling in the back. I talked to my wife about this. She's like, yeah, I don't dance, but I do like to sit, enjoy a drink, enjoy the music, watch people dance. I enjoy the fun. I enjoy the DJ playing the music. I enjoy the lighting. But she's not one that's going to get out there and dance because she doesn't really dance and she doesn't know how to. But if she was to dance, I'd be very impressed. And I always encourage anybody to get out on the dance floor. I say, hey, this is a great night. Come on out, help yourself out on the dance floor. Don't be shy. Dance to a song or two. My main goal as a wedding DJ is to get everybody on the dance floor for at least one song. If I can do that, I've accomplished something that is a miracle, because people look at that and be like, I don't know how he did it, but he got me on the dance floor and I danced to one song and it was really fun. So if you can get the whole crowd out on the dance floor for one song, that is in itself a magic trick. So these are little things to reading the room. Like I said, I think the best thing I can say about reading the room for a wedding is always talk to the couple about their crowd, what their age is. Are they from out of town? Where are they coming from? What kind of music do you guys like? Is there songs that you guys have like a special meaning that isn't a popular song, but I could play a little bit later in the evening when it's just you guys there and then you guys can enjoy the song? A couple weeks ago, I had that moment. I asked one of the grooms, I said, I see the song in there. It's like 9 minutes long. Do you want me to play the full 9 minutes, or what were you kind of thinking on the song? And I was like, is there a special meaning to that song? And he said, yeah. We had this big camp out and we put that song on and everybody started singing it at the top of their lungs and we were having a great time. And I go, oh, interesting. Make a little note. I said, this is a karaoke song. They sang this at this is the one that you play when all the guys are on the floor. Got you. Check. So these little things to like keep people on the floor, these little tactics, like you need that experience before you understand all these things, but you can definitely learn these things, take notes. A lot of the times too, reading a floor is about rotating people. So you don't think you're going to keep your opening set dancers on the floor all night. You could, but you're not going to keep them all. Like you may have 100% on the floor and then the next song you play 5% walk off. The next song you play 5% more walk off. It's just because they're tired. They have to go to the bathroom. They have to take a phone call. I don't know. I call this one like mysteries of the mind. It's something you cannot solve. It's just the way we are as humans. The song is great, but maybe it's just we got to go do something real quick. And there's a million and one reasons why they have to do something. But these are things that you can't control. The only thing you can control is that you make sure you continually play the music that keeps the majority of the people on the floor. If you try to play the minority, they may dance to a song or two, but then after that, they got excuses for days. So the best thing to do is play to the majority of people that are dancing, keep them moving. If you see somebody that's in the middle of the floor and they're the ones that are really hyping everybody up, they come up and request a song, play their song. That's what I'm going to say. Play their song. Um, a lot of times they'll have a song that they know their whole crowd is going to love. If the song doesn't work, just fade it out, put in the next song that you had in mind. So the best thing I would say is if couples are cool with you taking requests, um, don't always play the request. Be a little bit like discerning, because at that moment in time, it could kill a dance floor. Your job as a great wedding DJ is to understand those songs that will elevate the moment versus kill a moment. People, you can get them really excited. Their emotions are going to be high. They come up and they're like, hey, can you play this song? And it's like, yeah, okay. But the thing is, that song might not be perfect for this moment, but in 5 songs from now, I could put it into the mix and it'll actually make sense of why I'm playing it. So it could be somebody comes up to you and they're on the sidelines and they're like, I want to dance. I want to have fun. They come up, they request a song, but there's 10 people or 15 people enjoying this certain genre over here. So you got to cater to those people until that kind of like dies down. And then you bring these guys on the floor. So it's kind of a coordination process of something that it's a lot of timing. But again, everything's in the moment. But if a certain genre or a certain era of music is working and somebody requests a different style of music, be very careful with that, because it can ultimately tank a dance floor if you play a certain genre in the wrong way and people don't want to hear that. The majority of the people, I've had people come up, a bride and groom, they say, play this playlist, play from 7 to 8 p.m., play this playlist down. We'll come up to you and let you know when we want you to play the 8 to 10 o'clock playlist. Gotcha. Requests will come up. They'll say, hey, play another one. Okay, cool. Playing the playlist. 8 o'clock hits. They say, okay, switch over the playlist. 20 minutes into the playlist, I have somebody come up and say, I don't like this music at all. Go back to what you were playing. Now, the bride and groom are the ones paying me. They're the ones that are having me out. They're the boss. That being said, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate all of that. However, guests don't know what's going on. Okay. They don't know anything about a music outline. They don't know anything about the playlist. They don't know anything about what the bride and groom wants. They're simply the guests. So you have to look at them and say, okay. Or you can just be like, hey, unfortunately, we're moving on to a new playlist. This is because the bride and groom wants that. And then a lot of times guests will just be like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was what was going on. And you're like, yeah, I have to stick to this playlist. This is what they gave me. So I'm mixing it. We're moving through the playlist. And believe me, the dance floor is packed, But the people that want to dance, they're the people from the previous playlist. They just don't understand what's going on. And this music isn't probably from their generation. It's probably has nothing to do with anything that they like or love, but they don't understand this is what the bride and groom want. So reading the room, that's another one. Just understand what the bride and groom wants, and that's more important than anything. Yeah, I was going to talk about a few other things, but I think that's pretty much good. I think just reading the room, I don't want to go into a 2-hour talk about reading the room. I just want to talk about a few things that over the years, these are things that I've learned, and I've kind of understood like how you deal with emotions as you're getting a dance floor packed, as you're keeping a dance floor packed. You have to be careful. People will come in with requests that'll tank a dance floor if you put it on. I've had it happen a few times when I first started at previous events. I thought, hey, it's cool to take requests. I'd put on a song and the whole dance floor would go, whew. And I didn't understand that, like, hey, you can't take those requests up front unless they're really good songs that you were about to play. Because you want that first 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, you want it loaded with songs that everybody knows and loves. After that, you can get a little more creative, but up front, man, you got to keep it packed. You got to make all the generations happy. So that's the best thing I would say about reading the floor. All right. This is DJ iSizzle. Thank you guys so much for checking me out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the Behind the Booth podcast with me, DJ iSizzle. I appreciate you guys so much. I will talk to you on the next podcast. Thank you.